Hi everyone, this is Gene. I'm in my garage today and I thought maybe I'd show you guys a little project I've been working on. You could save yourself a lot of money doing your own screens. Now it took me a while, it took me a couple years to learn how to do this the right way and get it so I could change my own screens, because you know they're like $50–$60 per screen, and when you start doing a lot of them, especially in Arizona where you have sunscreens, it gets pretty expensive. So I got my reading glasses on today, so you're just gonna have to excuse that. I probably look like a geek. Anyway, today what I'm doing is I am installing this sunscreen material. It is a they call it sandstone, and I'm removing the black. I also have black from a couple years ago. This is a black 90 sunscreen right here, and I'm going to be taking that out, at least on the front windows, because that's the south side where all the sun damages everything, so to speak. So I've laid the screen down on the floor, and I'll get back to you. Okay, so I'm back, and the first thing you're going to need is a good cup of coffee. That's how I start my day. Now the next thing is you're going to need the material, and you're going to need what they call spleen. Now the spleen is what attaches the material to the frame. So the first thing I do is I tape it down to the garage floor. Now why do I tape it down to the garage floor? Because if you don't tape it down and you start putting that spleen in, and that frame moves out of position, now you're going to have it's not going to be square anymore, and your material is going to look like it was put in by a kindergartner. So you tape it down good, and don't tape over the spleen, you know, the old spleen hole around the screen, because you don't want the tape in your way. So okay, now when you start working on the screen, the very first thing you got to do is you got to get the old spleen out after you've taped it down. So find a corner or something and don't damage the frame. Just work that old spleen out of there like that. Grab a hold of it, and that old spleen will pull right out just like that. This one over here, just like that. Let me adjust the camera a little bit. Now I use this little screwdriver, long handle screwdriver, which just fits in that slot. So there's a piece of spleen right there. You just got to get underneath it. You pull that baby up and pull it out. Then you get down here in one of these corners and you get a hold of the material. Get it without damaging the and I could just poke a hole in the screen. I guess that would work too. Just there you go. Now you want to just pull this right out of here. Now don't yank the screen off of the frame and move the frame off of the masking tape. That should come right out of there. And that's where you start. Okay. Now the next thing to do is take your material, and because this is a little bit different than the black, this material has lines on it that goes this way. So I want to make sure it lines up with the other ones. There's the old spleen in the way. And this is material that's left over, so it's going to be just enough. Alright. Let me get this paper out of here. Now you definitely need one of these, because this is your roller, and the one roller has a joint down through the middle of it, and the other one is just flat. and I'll show you how to use those. Now the first thing I do, I get it lined up where I want it, so I've got plenty of extra on both sides. And I like to start on the long sides. So I'm going to start, I'll line this up over here. I'm going to line this up over here. Okay. And take this roller that doesn't have a seam in it and just start working this corner in. Like this here. Just get a little bit of work right in there. Alright, now you can run it like this. Now be careful you don't tear anything, or just work it in for now. Just get her started. All the way up. That gives you a good line. Now you ask yourself, are you good and square with that? You know, as far as the lines go, because it'll look goofy if you don't. Then I come over here. I don't know if the camera's picking this up. I come over here and I stretch this like that. I want it nice and smooth. Stretch it a little bit. Then I use the same roller. It's just a single roller. And I want this to be smooth right across here. And all the way up here. Pulling the material a little bit. Keep it tight. Like that. Coming up this corner. Now you need a good set of knees if you're going to be doing this. Now that's not as tight as I want it to be, but I'll show you what's going to happen here. See, it doesn't hurt it if you work it back in again. Put it back in again and do it again. Keep tightening it up, try and square it up. See how that lines up better now? Coming across here. And coming across here like that, and I want to keep it tight. I want to keep it tight. I want to try and keep it square like that. All right. Now down here in this corner, do the same thing. Come across here, trying to keep it tight. Just like that. Work that corner down in there a little bit. Alright. Now, the next thing you want to do, go to that other end. Lost my shoe. And kind of pull that tight. Work that over into the corner. Now you're going to have some material that's going to be bunching up a little bit. Don't worry about that yet. Okay, so now we're all the way around. All the way around. So if I pull it out a little bit, tighten it back up a little. That's where the material is bunching up. Alright, pull this out a little. Alright, and then put this back in. Like that. Okay, now when you look at that, that's nice and smooth. Okay, nice and smooth. Good and square with everything. And the next thing you do, you want to buy the right spleen. This spleen here, this is 0.125 spleen, and yesterday I was using 0.40, and you know what, it was just too hard to put it in there. You wouldn't think that that little bit would make a difference, but boy, it does. Alright, now this is really messed up because darn it, I just took it out of the package and just kind of threw it together. Alright, next thing I do is I want this to come down and around the corner and about, oh, I don't know, anywhere from 3 to 6 inches around that corner. See, because I don't want this to end on the ends. Okay, so what you do is you just use that roller that's got that seam in it, groove in it. Push it down in there, get her started. Ow! Get her started, and then you keep pressure on it. Now don't try and do this on one knee, because you're not going to do it. Now pull the spleen while you're doing this. And now see, when you make that mistake, all you do, take that single roller again, pull it back a little bit, and straighten that out, because you don't want a lump there. See how that come out nice and smooth again? Alright, and then you just slide this baby in. And it's not all that easy in the beginning. And then you roll it in. Being careful you're not falling in on the inside of this material. Then you take that single one and you can lock this in by running the single one all the way down. Okay. And that's how you put the spleen in. Then you go around your corner here. You make your little corner. Make your little corner like that. Take that grooved wheel again. Push it down in there. And roll that one up. Okay, and when I get done here, I'll get back to you. Okay, now this is the finished product. I only have one more window to do, and that's how that sunscreen looks. And this is the spleen, the gray spleen going around the edge. And I think it looks pretty nice. I had the black before, and I'm hoping that this black sunscreen, I'm hoping that this sandstone screen is gonna keep the sun down, to keep some of the heat out. Okay folks, we're all done here, and that's the end product right there. I think it looks pretty good. I just hope it holds the sun down, keep some of the heat out of the house for the summer. It's going to get really hot here. So that's it folks. Have a nice day. Okay everyone, I'm back, and I guess I left out one very important part, and that is you need one of these little knives. The reason being is because they're very sharp and they're delicate enough, and you can break the tips off and keep them sharp. And what you do when you're trimming the material off, you need to cut it right down on the outside of that spleen. Face your knife at like about a 45-degree angle out towards the outside of that screen, and just trim that right off, just like that. Being very careful not to cut it right here. Okay, that's why you use something like this, because it can rest against that material, and at the same time, which you don't want it to do, you can get on the outside of that spleen just like that. And that's how I cut the excess material off, with a knife like this. So when you do it, don't forget this knife, okay? Something I left out of the video somehow.